Hi and welcome to this short video of a slightly unusual version of the Tandberg Model 15 reel-to-reel tape recorder. The Tandberg Model 15 was originally introduced in around 1967, 68, that type of time frame, and at the time was introduced in the then standard Tandberg colors, similar to this Model 6 here, with a gray top cover, and some buttons in black, most of them chromed metal, and the case actually being in various types of wood, rosewood for instance. But this model was introduced later, after the original Tandberg company folded in 1978, went bankrupt. The most successful products were carried on, including the Model 15. And this was actually not produced by Tandberg itself, but it was produced by another company that continued to manufacture this model for them. And they decided at some point to change the color scheme from grey and wood and chrome to black and white, in keeping with the times. This particular machine was manufactured in 1983, but I'm told that this particular version was manufactured right up into the mid-1990s. Looking closely, we can see that what they've basically done is they've just taken the machine and colored everything black and written all the legends in white. But another interesting thing is that everything is in English and French. And I'm not sure why they did this. Could have been in order to be able to sell it to the French market, or maybe even a Canadian market. I don't know what the idea was. Of course, most of the things don't really make a difference if it's in English and which language they're in, but they have actually written all the text in various languages. Compared to the ordinary Model 15, it's extremely similar. One difference is the on-off switch over here, which in this case is a toggle switch, whereas in the original Tandberg version, it's a flip switch like this. Looking at the case, this initially appears to be made out of wood. We turn it on its side, we see that it looks, you can see a definite wood grain there. But a closer inspection reveals that this is actually plastic. Look at the back, it's more obvious. This is actually a plastic case. One big piece of plastic, probably because the wood was rather expensive. And if we look closely here, the serial number starts with TED, which stands for Tandberg Educational, and that's actually the company that marketed this machine. So it was intended for schools, for institutions, authorities, and that type of thing. It even carries some sort of a registration number, 123000104, which was probably the registration number for this particular machine in that particular institution. Other differences include the reel-to-reel tables. These have got lots of concentric rings, whereas the old type of reel tables just had a couple. And they've also got reel locks, in case you want to run the machine in a vertical position so the reels don't fall off. Compared to older machines, if we look underneath the tape cover, we'll see that all the metal parts here are actually yellow chromated rather than having a zinc rust or anti-corrosion coating. This is nothing unusual, nothing strange really. At some point during the 70s, manufacturing generally switched from using zinc plating to using this type of chrome. Other differences which were introduced before this black scheme, but might be interesting to note, is that the guide pins here are actually made of plastic largely, except for the part that actually contacts the tape, which is made of metal. And the tape covers themselves are the classic Tandberg tape covers, but of course all colored in black. And the screws have been slightly modified to not be so peaked. These are rather flat, knurled screws, whereas the old type of Tandberg screw was slightly more pointy. So again, this is a very, as you can see, a very nerdy video. Most people would not really care about any of these differences. But to a Tandberg enthusiast, it's quite interesting to see how the machine was actually carried on into the 80s and then finally well into the 90s. This particular machine was purchased at a flea market and has seen very little use. It works very well. At some point I might put up a demonstration of how it actually works. Okay, thank you for watching, and goodbye.